Now, once again, just to bring you up to speed, earlier today, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced military operations in Ukraine. Let's listen into what he said.
Circumstances require firm and immediate action from us. Donbass's People's Republic asked for help from Russia. In this regard, according to the Article 51, Part 7 of the United Nations Charter, with the consent of the Russian Federation Council, and in accordance with the ratified agreement on 22nd February of this year on friendship and mutual aid with Donetsk People's Republic and Luhansk People's Republic, I decided to conduct a special military operation. Its goal is the protection of people who during 8 years suffered from abuse and genocide from the Kiev regime.
Now, following the statements, many Ukrainians woke up to shelling and airstrikes across the country. President Vladimir Zelensky urged calm, said that Ukrainian military will fight to win against Russian aggression. Listen in.
Dear Ukrainians, this morning Russian President Vladimir Putin announced a special military operation in the Donbass. Russia carried out strikes on our military infrastructure, on our border guards. Explosions were heard in many cities of Ukraine. We introduced martial law throughout the state. A minute ago, I had a conversation with US President Joe Biden. The US is starting to gather international support. Today we need you. Each of you needs to be calm. If possible, stay at home, please. We are working, the army is working. The entire security and defense sector of Ukraine is working. I, the National Security and Defense Council, the government will be in touch. Soon I will be in touch again. Don't panic, we are strong and we are ready for everything and we will defeat everyone. Because we are Ukraine, glory to Ukraine.
Let's just listen into a statement by Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison as well.
Our thoughts are very much with those in Ukraine, those who are enduring a terrible invasion as the bombs fall and the shelling continues and the bullets are fired as special forces from Russia are moving towards Kiev and tanks are rolling in all around their borders. This is a chilling reminder of the world that we live in and where the threats and aggression of bullies and those who seek to intimidate others to seek their own advantage. This is a reality. It is a reality of this world, which means that like-minded countries, those who believe in a world that favours freedom, need to stand together and need to ensure we have the proper defences and security arrangements to keep our own people safe. And this is why Australia has always taken such a strong stand. Right now we are very concerned about all the people of Ukraine, and we pray for their safety, but we also know that they are suffering a terrible ordeal at the hands of a terrible aggressor.
Now, earlier today, Russian forces began an attack on Ukraine with reports of troops crossing the border to the north, to the south, explosions in multiple cities, including the capital Kiev, and warnings from Russian President Vladimir Putin of bloodshed unless Ukrainian forces lay down their arms. This offensive, Russia called a special military operation, and came as the world leaders attempted to avert the catastrophe in a meeting of the United Nations Security Council. Now, the first blasts were heard around 5 a.m., prompting immediate condemnation from the United States and its allies, which have threatened to enact full-scale sanctions in response to Russia's military aggression. Air raid sirens rang out across Kiev as well. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky moved to enact martial law. Government ministers accused Moscow of launching a full-scale invasion. Now here's where things stand, just to get you up to speed again. In a TV address today, Russia's Vladimir Putin announced military operations across Ukraine. He said that Russia was acting in self-defense. He urged Ukrainian soldiers to lay down their weapons. According to Putin, any intervention by outside powers against Russia would get an instant response. Russia has hit Ukrainian infrastructure with missiles. Ukraine, meanwhile, says that it shot down Russian aircraft, which Moscow denies. Convoy of troops and tanks have entered Ukraine from all directions. One convoy crossed from Belarus at a point to the north of the capital Kiev. Another entered from Crimea in the south, which Russia annexed from Ukraine back in 2014. As of now, at least 8 people are reported to have been killed. Of course, this is an evolving situation, and we will continue to bring you all the latest on this. There are long traffic jams as residents try to flee the capital. We saw visuals of streets choked. Traffic had come to a standstill. You can see on your screens right now, residents are trying to flee the capital, Kiev. Other residents, meanwhile, have sought shelter in subway stations. Oil prices jumped to more than $100 a barrel for the first time in 7 years. The Russian currency plunged to an all-time low against the dollar as well. Ukraine is now claiming that at least 50 Russian occupiers have been killed.